أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ودخل معه السجن فتيان قال أحدهما إني يراني أعصر خمرا وقال الآخر إني يراني يحمل فوق رأسي خبزا تأكل الطير منه نبئنا بتأويله إنا نراك من المحسنين. Yusuf Alayhis Salaam's next stage of his life commences. Yusuf Alayhis Salaam is placed into jail. For quite a few years, Yusuf Alayhis Salaam remains in the jail. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the two men entered the prison with him, not exactly at the same time. But anyhow, two men, they had some serious offenses against them. They were charged with serious offenses. They entered the prison with Yusuf Alayhis Salaam. And one of them said, I dreamt I was pressing wine. The other one said, I dreamt I was carrying bread on my head and birds were eating from it. O Yusuf Alayhis Salaam, tell us its interpretation. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you that you are amongst the good doers, a good pious person. That is why we have come to you asking you the interpretation of our dream. So the ulama say that these two people, they work for the king. The king's name at that time was Rayyan ibn Walid. One was a wine server, his name was Nabwa, and the other one was called Miljath, and he was the baker. So they were awaiting trial because some people said they tried to poison the king. Actually, the incident which Imam Baghawi rahmatullahi has mentioned is a group of Egyptians wanted to stage a coup in the country. So they wanted to assassinate the king. So they bribed these two men because they were close to the king. You must poison the bread and wine. But at the last minute, the wine server backed out. He decided not to poison. So when the food was served, he told the king, you know what, the bread is poisoned. Don't eat it. So the baker in turn told the king, you know what, it's the wine that is poisoned. So the king ordered each of them to taste what he had brought. The wine server complied, he drank the wine, nothing happened to him. The baker refused, and his bread was given to an animal which died of poisoning. So the king then arrested both of them now because he wasn't sure. There was something not right here. And he said, let's have a thorough investigation regarding these things. So during this time, he saw Yusuf Alayhis Salaam. He had a lot of piety, he had a lot of knowledge, and they felt he was the right person to interpret their dreams. They can ask him about their dreams. So they went to Yusuf Alayhis Salaam. And because Yusuf Alayhis Salaam was treating other people kindly in jail, and they thought that, you know what, he will treat us also in a good way. We are seeing you amongst the good to us, the people who are doing good actions. So you are doing good to others, inshallah, you'll do good towards us. So this is the power, the Yusuf Alayhis Salaam, the power of Iman in Islam. Even though he was in jail, but a good doer is a person who is a siddiq, he is a truthful person. He's only worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can see he's got great knowledge. So all of these qualities is a person who has got ihsan, the qualities of goodness within himself. So that is why they went to Yusuf Alayhis Salaam. So the ulama write here that dreams in the Surah of Yusuf Alayhis Salaam, it's a very important theme in the Surah. We see the dream of Yusuf Alayhis Salaam in the starting, then the dreams of the inmates of the prison, and the dream of the king which will come later on. So here just a few important hadith regarding dreams. One is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the first type of revelation that Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam received was in the form of true dreams in their sleep. And any dream he saw would come true like the crack of dawn. That is, next morning Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam would see exactly as he had dreamt in the night before. One hadith Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the good dream of a pious person is one of 46 parts of nubuwwat. He's got a very high status, and 46 parts of Nabuwat. And one hadith Nabi alayhi salam said that nothing remains of Nabuwat nowadays except mubashirat, glad tidings. So the people asked Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, what are the glad tidings? He replied, it is pious dreams, good dreams which a person has got. One hadith Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says that when the time of Qiyamah comes close, then the true dream of the Muslim will hardly be ever wrong. Those of you who are the most truthful in speech will see the truest dreams. According to how much of the truth you speak, that is how the kind of dreams a person will see. The dream of a Muslim is one of 45 parts of Nubuwwat. And then Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned that there are three types of dreams. So one is a dream which is sent as a glad tidings by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two is a dream brought by shaitan to cause regret and grief and worry to a person. And the third dream is a dream which a person has, which he was already thinking about. So when if one of you sees a dream that he dislikes, he should stand up and make dua, read namaz, and not convey it to other people. One hadith Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam says, inshallah we will mention the crux of it now, that if you see a dream you like, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make shukr and thank Allah, and you may narrate it. But if you see something which you dislike, then it is from shaitan. seek Allah's protection from its evil, and don't mention it to anyone, because then this dream cannot harm you. And one hadith Nabi Alayhis Salaam mentioned that one of the biggest sins which a person can do, afral firah, one is a slander, you slander somebody. The worst kind of slander is when a person makes up a dream which he didn't see, and he goes and tells somebody, I saw a dream, and this is what I saw in the dream. This is amongst the one of the most major of sins, because true dreams are a portion of nubuwwat and come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person here is fabricating a dream, and he's lying about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed me this in a dream. So this is one of the most severest of sins. One hadith Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if you make up any dream which you didn't see, on the day of Qiyamah, Allah will force you to tie 2 grains of barley together, and a person will never be able to do so. Something impossible. So this is the kind of difficulty a person will go to on the day of Qiyamah. So in the crux of the whole section is, the ulama say that there are the different types of dreams. One is true dreams. There are 2 categories of these 2 dreams. One is a dream which a person sees, it's completely real. When the Anbiya alayhi salatu salam in the beginning day, like Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw these dreams, whatever you see at night, the next day you see it exactly, it unfolds in real life. So this is one type of dream. Second type of dream is a symbolic dream. It's a good dream, it's a true dream. A person sees something which represents or symbolizes some truth. Like the dream of Yusuf Alayhis Salaam, he saw the sun and the moon making sajda to him. It wasn't the sun and the moon, it symbolized something else. So for this, a person will need somebody to interpret it for him. And sometimes that person can also make a mistake how he interprets the dream. So it's not always necessary that what the person is saying. So a person has to be very careful regarding those things. But these are symbolic dreams. And remember, good dreams, the dreams of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam are always true. And they are a form of revelation. So when the Anbiya alayhi salam see something, if it's interpreted in a correct way, then that is a revelation. Ibrahim alayhi salam saw himself slaughtering his son. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam saw some dreams also. For the Anbiya alayhi salam, it's true. For a normal person, it's mubashirat. It is only a time of glad tidings. And the more truer a person is in his speech, the more truer his dream will be. So if it's a glad tidings, it doesn't change Shariat, any laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if, for example, a person sees in a dream he must do a certain action which is a sin, then it's not permissible for him to follow his dream. Because it's just a glad tidings to encourage a person. That is why a person has his dreams. So if a person wants to see good dreams or true dreams, we should be very particular in speaking the truth. Be extra careful in consuming halal. Stay away from sins. Try as far as possible to sleep in a state of purification. Do dhikr before sleeping, and inshallah they will most likely see good dreams and true dreams. And according to certain hadith, the most frequent true dreams are the ones seen as Sari, at the time of Sari. These are the most astaqur ru'ya, the most truest of dreams which a person will see at the time of Sari. If you have to see a dream, a good dream, remember it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make shukr and thank Allah and be happy about it. And if you want to, you can share it with a knowledgeable person, a caring person, someone who has got feelings for you. Then you get second type of dream, which is something you had in your mind. You were just thinking the whole day about something. At night you had a dream about the same thing. So this is just something on the mind and a person dreams about. It's called a random dream. And then the third one is a nightmare, which is from shaitan. Shaitan uses it to try and frighten people, disturb people. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam taught us that the minute you see a dream like this, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, ask Allah protection from the evil of the dream. Ask Allah protection from shaitan also. Allah, protect me from the evil of this dream. Protect me from shaitan. You can blow on your left side 3 times. Blow like a slight spit also. But you don't have to spit completely without any saliva coming out. Your wife is sleeping next to you, mustn't do something that's not, she'll get upset with you, won't talk with you for the next month. So just a slight, certain narrations show that a bit of saliva must come out, and certain narrations show that without saliva. So obviously according to the circumstances, you're sleeping somewhere in the open, where they sand or whatever, if a little bit saliva comes out, no problem. And certain narrations show you shouldn't do so. So if somebody is sleeping next to you, or is on the bed, then the person just slightly blows, and then the ulama say you must turn over on the other side to show that I'm turning away from this way here, and I'm not turning towards that. And don't mention it to anybody else. And if you can, wake up and read some salat. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in one hadith, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned that a dream remains suspended until you interpret it. Once it is interpreted, it occurs. Therefore, only relate your dreams to someone who loves you sincerely, or a person who is intelligent in giving interpretations. Don't just mention the dream to anybody. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to make amal on these sunnahs of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.